Hey guys, how are you doing today? I have a battle with Samfaron from Smogon, and it's 6th gen, obviously, and I'm using the same team as last time, just because it's the only good team I feel that I have bred so far. The other teams I've tested on Showdown haven't really worked out as well enough for me to actually go through the effort of breeding and whatnot. So this is probably one of the only teams you'll see until Pokebank comes out. Anyway, so up against Sam, we're just going to jump right into it. So I saw that he had the Smeargle, and so I expected him to lead with that because everyone does, because they want a Spore and Sticky Web and all that stuff. So I'm going to go into Kangaskhan and Mega Evolve and go for the Fake Out and just one-shot the Smeargle. Now, there is a glare on the screen, don't worry. The glare will be gone in, 2 minutes maybe? So he's going to go into Ditto, and I know my Kangaskhan set is just walled completely by Gliscor, so I'm going to be able to eat those power-up punches up, and get off my Poison Heal as he switches out. I knew he would switch, so I go for the sub, and even if he didn't switch, I knew I was faster, because I checked, and my Gliscor is actually 4 speed faster than my Kangaskhan, I think. Oh, but it was Mega. I don't know. Either way, it doesn't matter. I go for the sub, get off the Toxic on the Greninja, which, I don't like wasting subs, and if I can get off some Toxic damage onto this thing, it appears to also be Life Orbed. So not only will the Toxic bring it down, but every time it hits. So now I'm going to go into Rotom just to eat up an Ice Beam, get more Toxic damage and Life Orb damage. And at this point, I'm going to go for the sub because he's probably going to expect me to go for the electric type move. And Venusaur comes in. I can't poison it. And at this point in time, I'm thinking there's no point in sticking around to paralyze it. So I figured I'll just go for the Will-O-Wisp. He's usually special anyway, but the residual damage would be nice. But I miss, and he goes into a sub. And just to make matters worse, his substitute is bigger than mine. And, bigger is better. Anyway, I'm just going to T-Bolt because there's not much else I can do, but since I'm behind a sub, I don't like wasting subs. So I figured I'll just get off some damage on the sub and then switch out. I'm going to go into Klefki as he sets up Leech Seed, and after a little while, I learn his set is Leech Seed, Synthesis, Substitute, and Sludge Bomb. So I'm realizing that I'm going to set up all of my spikes, and the only thing he can do to me is get that Leech Seed damage off. So I'm planning on getting my spikes up, and then I'm going to switch out, and maybe later I can get Klefki in not on a switch, and then I can go for the substitute, and this Venusaur is completely walled. So I did get the paralysis off at some point. I broke his sub and paralyzed him because I figured I couldn't burn him with the Will-O-Wisp, so at least paralysis will slow him down and maybe it can help in the future. I just figured anything helps. So Klefki's just being a boss, getting Leech Seeded, setting up spikes. He can't do anything to me. And he's starting to realize that as I'm setting up these spikes, and sure, his Venusaur is at full HP, but I can switch out at any time. So he goes into Ditto, which is gonna become Klefki, as I'm gonna set up my 3rd layer of spikes, and now I was like, crap, he's just gonna start setting up spikes. So I'm gonna go into Gliscor because that's probably my best answer to Klefki, even though I'm running, I believe, a defensive, maybe, Klefki? I don't know. Either way, Klefki can take an EQ, clearly shown by it's a little bit above 50%, I would say. So he does get all 3 layers up, and I figured I'm just going to go for the sub anyway. Since I can't stop him from getting all 3 layers up, I might as well just sub and go for the EQ now. And the Venusaur is going to be brought in, and Venusaur is so bulky. I mean, Gliscor isn't exactly the strongest attacker, but he just kind of takes hits. Now, his misplay was not going for the synthesis there. He went for the substitute. And because he didn't synthesize, I was able to take that very annoying Pokemon out. So now I'm going to protect because I'm behind a sub, and Greninja just doesn't scare me because it's so low in HP and it's poisoned, and at this point I know he's going to go faster, so I go for the substitute because the Ice Beam is going to break it, and then he's going to die, and I'm going to still have a sub. So overall, it's not looking too well for him. He's going to go into Talonflame, and the funny thing is that my Gliscor is my Talonflame counter for the most part. Like, I have, not my counter, I don't know. People usually get angry when you misuse the words check and counter, but all I know is I switch Gliscor in to take Talonflame hits, because it does it so well. I guess a true counter would be Rotom, by everyone's definition. I don't know, people are weird. So I'm just going to sub-Toxic Stall this Talonflame, and this whole match was a lot of Gliscor being really good with Toxic. Honestly, and I was going to bring an Aegislash, but it's on an air balloon. And, like, I don't know why I never considered that until then, but as soon as he brought that in, I was like, wow, that's actually really cool. I like that a lot, an air balloon Aegislash. So he's going to go for the King's Shield as I Will-O-Wisp, and I miss. King's Shield does not protect against Will-O-Wisp, I believe, so I miss, so that was important. I'm going to go for it another time and miss again. I'm just like, Rotom. Every single match, if it's not Hydro Pump, it's Will-O-Wisp. It's just, Rotom doesn't like doing things for me. So now I'm going to go into Volcarona, and he's going to switch out, and I'm going to just go for the Fiery Dance because I didn't want to, I knew he had Talonflame, so I didn't want to quiver up and then be scared of a priority Brave Bird. So I figured he's going to switch in Talonflame, I can just get off some damage on the switch in and then go back out to Gliscor to take hits all day. He does carry the Roost, which is kind of problematic, so in a sense I'm very glad that I have it Toxic, because Toxic damage will rack up, and so I know that all I need to do is if I can get Talonflame as his last Pokemon and Gliscor as a last Pokemon, I just have the game in the bag. So at this point, Volcarona doesn't seem all that useful because I can handle the Aegislash with, did I pop the balloon yet? I don't think I did. Either way, I sack my Volcarona to get a switch into Haxorus for a reason. Because he's gonna go for the Roost. Okay. I think I just wanted Toxic damage to rack up. So I sacked Volcarona, and then I went for the Swords Dance, because if he switched, then I got a free Swords Dance. If he didn't, then Toxic was adding up. So he goes into the Ditto, but it doesn't matter, because I'm not going to set up again. I go straight for the Dual Chop, and he may have just not cared about Ditto, or he may have wanted to check me for getting greedy if I went for a second Swords Dance. Either way, he's on the Air Balloon, goes for the King's Shield. I go for the Dual Chop, get Attack Drop, but I don't care because all I want to do is break the balloon. So I deal very minimal damage, and then he stance changes, but my main goal here was to break the balloon so I could bring in Gliscor and just finish off his team with the Gliscor. Because I can now go for a sub, he's not scaring me at all, and I can just EQ all day. His Shadow Sneak does not break Gliscor's sub because I am physically defensive. And so at this point in time, all he has left is the Talonflame, and as I stated before, all I needed to do was get Talonflame by itself, because even though it has Roost, that Toxic will eventually add up to a point where it kills him in one hit. Gliscor has no move that can actually damage Talonflame, but at the same time, with the Toxic damage, it doesn't matter. So what you're going to see is a lot of stall where Toxic and then Poison Heal, Sub, Flare Blitz, Protect, all of these moves that he's not doing anything to me, I'm not doing anything to him, he's going to Roost, and just try and stay alive as long as possible. I'm not really sure if, he could have done anything, so I'm just going into Klefki because I could have just stalled all day, but I figured you guys wouldn't want to watch that, so I used Klefki as a switch to go into Mega Kangaskhan and just finish Talonflame off, because it's so low at HP, a Fake Out is going to either kill it or bring it down low enough that the Poison will take it out, so I just take Talonflame out, and that was a good game. I hope you guys leave a like, comment. I would love to hear from you guys. Tell me what you think of my team, if it could use improvements, any comments on my narration, just things that I can do better to improve your viewing experience, because I care more about you guys enjoying my battles. So yeah, rate, comment, subscribe, like, and I will see you guys later.